Okay, we are at the bottom of Samech Bet Amud Bet 62b. We are 4 lines up from the bottom. The Gemara is quoting the Mishnah. Ada Geshamim. If a person makes a neder, and I'm not gonna eat meat, whatever. Ada Geshamim. Ad Shiyu Geshamim. Ad Shetered Reviyah Shniya. Rabban Shimon Gamliel Omer. Okay, so it was a machloket in the Mishnah that the Rabbanan say Ad Shetered Reviyah Shniya until it's the second rain, and Rabban Shimon Gamliel says Ad Sheyagia Zmana, until the time of the rain comes. So says the Gemara, Amar Rav Zera, says Rav Zera, Machloket de Amar Ada Geshamim. The machloket is when a person said Ada Geshamim. So Rabbanan say until actually rains, and Rabban Shimon says the time of the rain. Aval Amar Ada Geshem. First says until the Geshem. Ad Zman Geshamim Kamar. It's until the time of Geshamim. That everyone agrees. Seems like the way that people would talk. The person would say Ada Geshem. That's until the time of the Geshamim. Ada Geshamim. That's where there's a machloket. Rabban Shimon Gamliel says till the time. Rabbanan says till it actually rains. So Rabban Shimon Gamliel always says till the time of the rain, not till it actually rains. Okay. Continuing. The Gemara says, Metive, a question. Ezo izmana shel reviyah. What is the times of the rains? So, habechira, the first one, begimel, is on the third. This is all in the month of Cheshvan, the rainy month, right after Sukkot. So, the first rain, time of the rain, is begimel, on the third of the month. Benonit, beshiva. The middle one is the seventh of the month. Afilah, be'esrim u'shlosha, on the 23rd of the month. The Rabbi Meir, that's Rabbi Meir's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, b'shiv'a, u'b'shiva asar, u'b'esrim u'shlosha. The 7th, 17th, 23rd.
In the same month?
In the same month, all in Cheshvan. The different machlokes, when the three, the rainy season starts at that time, and then when the second rain usually is, and when the third rain is. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Shiva Asar, Ube'esrim v'shlosha, Ube'chodesh Kislev. 17th, 23rd, and Rosh Chodesh Kislev. V'chen haya Rabbi Yossi Omer, En hayechidim mit'anin ad sheyagia Rosh Chodesh Kislev. And so too, a proof that this is Rabbi Yossi's opinion, because the Yechidim wouldn't fast until it came Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Meaning after Sukkot, the expectation is that it's supposed to rain, but the rain wasn't coming, so they started praying and this. And when did they start fasting? Says Rabbi Yossi, when it came Rosh Chodesh Kislev, because that's the last time where it was supposed to rain, and didn't rain then it's really bad. We gotta start fasting. Okay, the Gemara continues to see what the question is. Ve'amrinan Allah. It was said on this Gemara, on this Braita. This is a quote of a Tosefta in Masechet Ta'anit, also the Vav, because Masechet Ta'anit speaks about fasting, and part of the Masechet is fasting for lack of rain, not just the fasts that are established throughout the year. So the Gemara says, I understand why we need to know the first date of when the rain comes, because now we have to ask for rain. And that's, if you look at quickly at the Ran on the left side, Lish'ol is V'ten talu matar b'birkat hashanim. In the bracha mevarach hashanim, we say ten talu matar. So we need to start asking for rain. And that's the Barech Alenu. We switch to Barech Alenu. Ashkenazim just add the words Ten Talu Matar Bracha in the regular Barechenu or Barech Alenu. I'm not sure which nusach they have. But we have a totally different. But in there also, that's in Birkat Hashanim. So we understand that you need the first date of when it's supposed to rain to know when I should start asking for rain. Shlishit, back to the Gemara, 8 lines down or so. First the word shlishit. Shlishit, litanot. The third date I need is to fast. Because now I got to this point and there's no rain yet, I gotta start fasting. What's the second date for? What's the second date for?
What fast is that?
This is like when it didn't rain, so B'nai Yisrael fast when it's like it's we need to pray to Hashem for it to rain, so that's the like when do I know like oh my gosh this got too far, it's been so long, so that's why I need the third date for to tell us like it got to the point where it was supposed to rain according to all opinions that then the last rain is supposed to be here. The last meaning, like then it's the rainy season, but this is for sure the third rain is supposed to be right now. So we need the third date. And the Shnia Lemai. What's the second date for? It says the Gemara. V'amar V'zera. It says Rabbi Zera. Lenoder. So it's like this Gemara is quoting that Tosefta or that Gemara. That's what it keeps on saying. Ve'amrinan, ve'amar. Like it's like keeps on quoting because we're asking a question over here. We didn't get to the question yet, but we're in the question. We're quoting that Braita, and it's ve'amrinan. It was said over there on this. What's the? I know the first date's for. I know the third date's for. What's the second date? And Rabbi Zera said on it, lenoder. It's for the person that makes a neder. A neder of exactly our case. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to do whatever until it starts. Until it rains.
Geshamim is minimum 2, right? Because it's in plural. Minimum for Geshamim is 2.
That's an interesting point. I don't think they go with that over here. Let's look at the Ran on this, right? So we did lishol. Let's lihitanot al im lo yirdu. That's to fast because it didn't rain. Let no there. Sheim nadar ada geshamim. If a person makes a neder until geshamim, asur ad reviyah shniya. Yehuda Baruch Haba. We are on Samach Gimel Mural 63a. We're now in the Ran Lenoder. We're about 7-8 lines down. So it says the Ran Lenoder. Sheim nadar ad geshamim, asur ad reviyah shniya. If a person makes a neder until the geshamim, he's asur until the second rain. The stam geshamim reviyah shniya mashma. She'en makdemet v'lo me'acheret. If a person says geshamim, stama means the second rain. He's not saying the early one, not saying the later one. He goes in the middle. Okay. So, back to the Gemara. Rabbi Zera says that the second rain is the date is needed for people that make Nedarim. So that's literally what it's for. Okay. Back to the Gemara. Ve'amrinan Allah. And it was said on that Gemara, Keman Azla Adetanya. Who is the author of the following Braita? Keman Azla Adetanya. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, Geshamim sheyardu Shiva Yamim Zeh Achar Zeh. If it rained for 7 days straight, 7 days Zeh Achar Zeh, day after the other, meaning 7 days straight, it rained 7 days straight. Atamone ban reviyah rishona v'shniya. You count the first and the second rain. So it seems like the first day of rain is the first day of rain, and then if it rains the next day, let's just say in general, if it rains the next day,
It's still the same rain.
it's still like part of the first rainy rainfall.
It's not considered a second.
Right. So and the second would be like to the second date, right? So, like the second period of rain in the rainy season. So, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said, if it rains 7 days in a row, you should know this is actually the first and the second. It covers the first and the second. So the Gemara says, Keman, who could that be like? When Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel makes this statement, who could that be like? So the Gemara says, Keman Rav Yossi. It's like Rav Yossi. So let's analyze. So the Gemara started with, so we want to know a question, but we didn't get to the question yet. But the Gemara started with this braita from the beginning of the Amud, that there's 3 dates in the rainy season. First explanation is 3, 7, 23, the dates of Cheshvan. 3rd, the 7th, and the 23rd of Cheshvan. That's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yehuda says 7, 17, 23. And Rabbi Yossi says 17, 23, and Rosh Chodesh, Kislev.
Which is exactly 7 days frame.
Exactly. So you don't have 7 days, in the first opinion of Rabbi Meir, from 3 to 7 is less than 7 days. From 7 to 23 is more than 7 days. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is 7, 17, more than 7 days. 17 to 23. 17 to 23. And the truth is, Rabbi Yossi also said, B'shiva asar u'b'esrim v'shalosh. So I guess we're not going with Rabbi Yehuda's second opinion. We're trying to go, I guess, with the Revia Rishona and Rishniya. I'm sorry, because Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says Revia Shniya, Rishona and Shniya, and Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is 17 and 23 is Shniya and Shlosha. So that doesn't go to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi 17 to 23, that's 7 days.
6 days.
Yeah, so we're counting the days. Yeah,
Month, so
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
if it's rain for 7 days, it's gonna go to the second period.
So yeah, that's what Rabbi Shimon is saying. So first, it only works according to Yossi. Second is Rabbi Shimon is saying like this: if it rains straight for 7 days through 17 and 23, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, says Rabbi Shimon a chidush that generally when it rains, let's say for 2 days on day 17, it rains 17 and 18 and 19, let's say 3 days. Then it stops. Then it rains again at 23. Then you have, that was period 1. This is period 2. But if it rains straight for 7 days, you might think that's only period 1. That's still period 1 of this is the rain. This is the first rainfall in the rainy season, but it's all in one. It says when it rains 7 days straight, but it passes on the second as well, it's considered 1 and 2. Okay. So we want to know. And that's Chidush Rabbi Yossi. Okay. So what's the Gemara's question? Let's read the Ran. A little bit of a longer run, but let's read it, and we'll glean from here what his question is, what the Gemara's question is. Let's not so long. Keman, where we left off in the Ran. The last one on the line, the big word is Keman. About 10 lines up in the thin lines. Keman has the Tanya Rav Shimon ben Gamliel Kshim Sheyedu Shiva Yamim Zeh Achar Zeh. We want to know who could this go like the bright of Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. It says if it rains 7 days in a row. Tamoneh Lam Revia Rishona Ushniya. Keman Rav Yossi. Damar Rav Yossi is one that says Yud Zayin B'Chav Gimel 17 and the 23rd. Dealer the Rabbi Meir. Because if it was according to Rabbi Meir, Leka Zayin Yamin Ben Rishon L'Shniya, there's not 7 days between the first and the second. V'Ilu Rabbi Yehuda Yikatzvei, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, there's more. And again, we're not talking about between 2 and 3. We're talking specifically between 1 and 2. But Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, the Divrehem de Rabbanan Kamerlehu. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is talking according to the Rabbanan. Now, let's pause it because let's remember that Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says the statement of 7 days in a row, it's like 1 and 2. But it's the same Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel that's in our opinion in the Mishnah. If you remember, when we say Ada Geshamim, we say that's a machlokes Rabbanan and Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Ada Geshem, everyone agrees, it's talking about the rainy season, not the actual, doesn't actually have to rain. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says that be it Geshamim or Geshem, it's until the rainy season. Rabbanan say when you say Geshamim, it means till it actually rains. So, till it actually rains. So now, and we saw that when a person makes a neder of Geshamim, it's talking about the Reviyah Shniyah. Some of the Reviyah Shniyah. Now, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is making a statement according to Rabbanan, meaning the Reviyah Shniyah is only needed for Nedarim. But according to Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, we don't even need Reviyah Shniyah because we don't need the date of Geshamim because it's the. I guess we need the date. We need the date. We don't need the actual rain. Fine. So Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, according to you, Rabbanan, that need the actual rain, the rain of the second one. I want to say a chidush that if it rains 7 days in a row, then it also connects to the second one. Well, let's see further what he wants to say to Rabbanan. We're in the second line up in the thin lines of the Ran. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel ledivreim de Rabbanan ka'amar lehu. According to the words of Rabbanan, he's speaking. Ledidi, according to me, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, look apidna, I'm not makpid, ben noder be'yiridat geshamim kalal. I'm not makpid when it actually rains itself. I'm not makpid. Ela bizmanan, only on the time of the rain. Ela ledidchu, but according to you, Rabbanan, nehi de kaptitu be'yirida mamash. You, since you are makpid, are stringent, it needs to actually rain. Oduli mihat, at least agree with me. De afal pi, shat chalat yiridatan, hayta, mitchilat reviyah rishona. That even though it started raining at the beginning of the reviyah rishona, velo paskun, it did not stop. Afilu hachi, nevertheless, oduli, agree to me. De kevan shenim shechu ad reviyah shniyah, Torat Reviyah Shniyah Alehen. Agree to me that since it continued raining until the Reviyah Shniyah, it's considered Reviyah Shniyah. V'shalim le zman nidre, and he completed the time of his neder. It's time of a neder. The guy says, I don't want to eat meat until it rains. What does it mean until it rains? Until the Reviyah Shniyah. Reviyah Shniyah, according to Rabbanan, is the actual second rain. So Rabban Shimon says, agree to me, Rabbanan, that if it rains for 7 days straight, it's called the second rain. Agree to me about that. V'kasal k'daitach, continuing the run, de benoder ada geshem askinan. Now the Gemara, so where's our question? Our question is this now the Ran's explaining what the question of the Gemara is. The question of the Gemara is that the assumption of the Gemara is that a person said, I'm making a neder ada geshem. Now we said ada geshem, everybody agrees, until the time, and not till it actually rains. The assumption is ada geshem. So let's see the run again. Because that was probably the normal way of talking with people. V'im ita the derabizera the amar the be'ada geshem kulu modu the ad sheyagia zman ka'amar. And if we're going with a Rizera that says when a person says Ada Geshem, everybody agrees it means the time of rain and not the actual rain. Hechi Amarlu Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Oduli Mihat. How does Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel say agree to me that it's considered the second rain? Umay Iria Yardu Afilu Lo Yardu Kalal. Why is Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel saying to Rabbanan about the second rain, consider it the second rain, even if it doesn't rain at all? Kevan de kin nadar ada geshem, because since a person, if he makes the neder ada geshem, v'yigia zman asher reviyah shniyah, kulam hashalim nidre, and it got to the time of the second rain, everybody's going to agree. So, like this, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel makes a statement. If it rains for 7 days straight, over from 17 to 23, it's the second reviyah. So Rabban Shimon says, Rabbanan, agree to me about that, because I hold it doesn't even need to rain. If a person makes a neder until it rains, geshamim or geshem, it's till the time, which is the 23rd of the month, according to Yossi. So, but agree to me that you hold that since you hold actually raining agree to me that if it rains 7 days straight, it's not Revia Rishona, it's Revia Shnia. So what's the Gemara's question? The Gemara's question is, hold on a second. Most people, when they make an neder, they say Ad Geshem. So if it's Ad Geshem, Rabbanan would agree that it's the date. It's not the actual rainy season. So why is Rabban Shimon Gamliel saying that it goes with the rain? It goes with the date. And the Gemara has this quick answer. And so the Gemara, Hahud Amar Ad Geshamim. No, we're talking about the case where the guy said Ad Geshamim. So, the guy says Ad Geshamim. Rabbanan would say you need the actual rain. And now, then that's what Rabbi Shimon says. Okay, agree to me that if it rains 7 days straight, it's until the actual rain, and that if it reached the 23rd of the month with 7 days straight of rain, it's actually Revia Shnia, and the guy fulfilled his neder till that date. Let's continue the run. Second line down. And the Gemara answers no, that it's the guy said Ad Geshem Klomar. Amar Ad Geshem. If a person says Ad Geshem, everybody agrees that it's until it gets to the time. Here the case is Damar Ad Geshamim. Until the guy says Ad Geshamim. This is the proper explanation to this Gemara. Okay, the Gemara's assumption was that the normal people always say Had Geshem, and therefore it would be a question. Why is Rabban Shimon Gamliel saying, Rabbanan agree to me? Had Geshem means till the time. Even Rabbanan agreed to that. And so the Gemara, we're talking about a case, the guy said Had Geshamim, and therefore we actually need the rain. And that's what Rabban Shimon Gamliel says. Rabbanan agree to me that it's considered the second day, the second Revia, if it rains for 7 days straight. Okay, perfect. Mishnah. Kunam yain she'eni toim l'shana. The person says a kunam on wine. I'm not gonna drink wine for a year. Nit abra shana, and then the year became a leap year. Asurba ube ibura, says the Mishnah. If it became a leap year, even after you made the neder, you're asur on the year and the extra month and the second adar as well. So when you said a year, it includes even if it gets leaped in the middle. Next, Ad Rosh Adar, until the beginning of Adar. Ad Rosh Adar Rishon, until the beginning of Adar Rishon. If there's 2 Adars that year, when a person says Ad Rosh Adar, to the beginning of Adar, it means the beginning of Adar Rishon. Ad Sof Adar, the person says until the end of Adar. Ad Sof Adar Rishon, also to the end of Adar Rishon. Now you might have a little dalet there, and it says, Gilion says Sheni. Some have a nusach that says Sheni. So let's look at the Ran. So when a person, on this last point, a person says, I don't want to drink wine till the end of Adar. Says the Mishnah in our Nusach, end of Adar Rishon. Other Nuschot say until the end of Adar Sheni. Let's look at the Ran. It's actually at the top of the next page. It's the Ran that's on the end of the Mishnah. The first Ran, right at the beginning on the right side, that is connected to this last piece of the Mishnah. Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon, Ad Sof Adar, Ad Sof Adar, Ad Sof Adar Rishon. Kach hi ikar girsa. This is the main way to have the wording, the proper girsa. V'ta'ama mishum de amar, v'ta'ama mishum de Adar stama Rishon mashma. A person says Adar stam, he means Adar Rishon. Fine, and the truth is that even when people we have Adar Rishon and Adar Sheni. We're going to continue the round, but we have Adar Rishon and Adar Sheni. People say Adar Sheni, Adar, like the truth is we actually say Adar Aleph, Adar Bet, but generally it's let's say if a person even in Nachalot and everything's Adar Bet, meaning Purim is an Adar Bet. If a person dies in Adar Rishon, in that year there's only Adar. There's only one Adar. and then the next year there's 2 Adar. So where do you observe his Nachala? In Adar Bet. If a person died in Adar Aleph, and then next year is also Adar Aleph, Adar Bet, then he's observed in Adar Aleph, because that was when he died in Adar Aleph. So too, kid bar mitzvah, I don't know why I went to death, but it's a bar mitzvah, kid born Adar, regular Adar, when it comes 13 years later his bar mitzvah, you do Adar Bet. If he's born in Adar Aleph, and 13 years later is Adar Aleph and Bet, they do Adar Aleph. So, but the Gemara says, Stam Adar is Adar Rishon.
But how can you, it says according to Mishnah, "Itabra shana asur ba v'bigura." Like you can't have any konan on shana mu'belet, no?
No, so Asur means the yain is Asur. So you said, I'm Asur, I don't want to drink wine for a year. It became an Ibur in the middle of the year, then that's also Asur. That month is also Asur for you. That's what it means.
So you still cannot even in the April.
Yeah. Let's just continue with that run. Kachi ikara girsa. Betama mishum de adar stama rishon mashma. V'ika de garzi ad sof adar sheni. There's some that are gores until the end of adar sheni. The mashma le de shne adarim ke chodesh echad hen. They're mashma that the 2 adars are like 1 month. Hilkach ki amar ad rosh mitzar ad rosh chodesh adar rishon. V'chei amar ad sof mitzar ad sof adar sheni. So some make that girsa, but he says the ikar girsa is as we have it. Okay. Let's go to the Gemara, back to the Gemara on Amud Aleph, Samach Gimel Amud Aleph. Says the Gemara, Alma, Stamad de Adar, Ke Amar Rishonu. Gemara makes a inference from our Mishnah that when a person says Adar Stam, it means Adar Rishon. We see that because the guy says Ad Rosh Adar, it's Ad Rosh Adar Rishon. Ad Sof Adar Rishon. Ama Stama de Adar, Kamar Rishonu. Lema Matnitin Rabbi Yehuda. He says the Gemara, let our Mishnah be like Rabbi Yehuda. Titania says in a Braita, Adar Rishon Kotev Adar Rishon. Adar Sheni Kotev Adar Stam. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says when you write ketubot, you write shtarot, you write Adar Rishon for Adar Rishon, and you write Adar Stam for Adar Sheni. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Adar Rishon Kotev Stam. Adar Sheni Kotev Tinyan. Tinyan is 2 in Aramaic, so you write Adar Sheni. So Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion, like our Mishnah says, it's like our Mishnah, that when you write Adar, for Adar Rishon, you write Stam Adar. For Adar Sheni, you write Adar Sheni. Amar Abaye. Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir. You could even say that our Mishnah goes with Rabbi Meir. Ha de yada de me'abra shata, ha de lo yada. That it depends. If you knew that it was already going to be a leap year, or you didn't know. So let's play it out. If you didn't know, if you didn't know, so that means when you wrote that star, and you wrote just Adar, because there was only one Adar and your knowledge to that point. So when you wrote one Adar, when you wrote Adar, it says you only knew, and then in the case where you did know, how does this fit with a Rimir? Oh, our Mishnah says Ad Rosh Adar Rishon. So Stam Adar is Adar Rishon. Rabbi Meir says it's Adar Sheni. So he says that our Mishnah is talking about a case where, our Mishnah is talking about a case where you didn't know that it's going to be a leap year. So you wrote Adar Stam, and Adar Stam is Adar Rishon. But when you know that it is 2 Adars, then you have to write Adar Rishon, and Adar Stam is Adar Sheni. That's Rabbi Meir. That would make sense because anyways we do Purim and Adar Sheni. Next page. Ve'atanya, and there's a Braita, and this is a proof to this that this could work even according to Rabbi Meir. Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. Im hayta shana meuberet ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Hasheni. Michlal the Reisha lav meuberet askinan. Yeah, so the right is a proof. A person writes Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar. Okay, right, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar. But there's two Adars. So Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. Im hayta shana meuberet. Sorry, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. Okay, in the case where you don't know that there's two Adars, if you write Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar, it's Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. But Im hayta shana meuberet, if it was a shana meuberet, Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. If you mean Ad Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. Michlal the Reisha lav meuberet askinan. And therefore you see that the beginning case is talking about that not meuber, the regular year, and therefore you could explain our Mishnah as well. That's not a regular year in the first case. Shema Mina, we learn from here. Ha de pshita le de me'abra shata ha de lo yada. Therefore, in one case it was pashut that it was meuberet, and one case that he didn't know that it was meuberet. And that's how you could fit this according to Rabbi Meir as well. Okay. So yes, the Gemara is ending that we could fit this according to Rabbi Meir as well. Just a second. Look at Ule'inyan Halacha, the Ran on the right side, where the end of the thin lines. Ule'inyan Halacha, Kevan de Kaimalan, since it's established in the Masechet Eruvin, the Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Halacha ke Rabbi Yehuda, Naktinan. We go like the Rabbi Yehuda. The Stama de Adar Rishon Mashma. That Stam Adar is Adar Rishon. Hilkach therefore, Misha Omed be Adar Sheni. The Kotev Adar Stam, Hashtar Mukdam Upasul. Interesting. A person is we're standing in Adar Sheni, and you write Adar in the shtar. Then it's a pasul shtar because it's Mukdam, meaning Adar means Adar Rishon. And if you're sitting in Adar Sheni, you wrote just the word Adar, that means you mean Adar Rishon, and therefore it's an early shtar. The date passed already. You can't write a shtar now. The Stam Adar Rishon mashma. Hilkach tzarich hu sheyichtov bechodesh Adar Sheni. ובאדר ראשון כותב סתם בין בגיטין בין בשטרות. Well, so that's how we go. That if there's two Adars, so Adar stam is always Adar Rishon, and then for Adar Sheni you have to write Adar Sheni. And that's also like, let's say a person he passes away, and you write on the graves, the guy dies in Adar, in a regular Adar. You don't write Adar Rishon. Like, how do I know which Adar it is? If you just wrote Adar, it's Adar Rishon. That's what goes on over here as well, right? You don't have to write Adar Rishon always, and even in a year that there's two Adars, you would write on the grave Adar Aleph, just because in a year of two Adars, you want to make sure that you observe the Nachala in Adar Aleph. You would write that. But let's say you just see Adar, which one is it? Adar Rishon. That's easy for me.
So what Rav is saying, that whenever the Adar Sheni always overrides Adar Rishon. Agree? For any occasions it needs to be done.
No, so that's as far as where do we observe the things? Yes, but we're just talking about like the lashon. When I say Adar, right? When I say Adar,
really
it's Adar Rishon. Stam Adar is Adar Rishon. That's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. That's what we rule with. It's open. We're gonna open now. Okay. Chazak u'Baruch, and tomorrow night we will. So the Mishnah will finish the Perek tomorrow night, finishing the Perek. Chazak u'baruch. Chazak, guys.